Going over to the cultural part podcast, you have Matt Walsh going viral on social media for saying that true United States, well, he's saying true United States natives are actually white Europeans or Europeans of white descent. And this is also reposted by Jay Plemons. And he's actually just quoting Matt Walsh from his recent interview with Tucker Carlson earlier this month. Not too much further ado.
There's nowhere in the world you can go where the people who are officially recognized as the indigenous habitants are white. Nowhere. White people do not.
How is that not genocidal intent?
Well, that's my point. So it's like, okay, so we're not indigenous to anywhere, so where are we supposed to be? Because the other part is...
We're supposed to be dead.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Because we're told that, okay, here are the indigenous habitants, and the what's implied every time we talk about indigenous people, or just outright said, is that, well, this land is really theirs, and so you shouldn't be here. And so what we're saying to white people everywhere is that you shouldn't be here. Well, where should we be? Do you want us to go to Mars? I mean, are we going to Jupiter? Where are we supposed to be? Or are you just going to throw us into the ocean? And I think the answer is that we really shouldn't be anywhere, which is why we should not be embarrassed or afraid to say that the Native Americans are white people of European descent. That is true. The people that we call Native Americans now are not Native Americans. And the reason they're not Native Americans is because they did not form a country called America. They are not native. America is a country. It's not just a place. It's not just a plot of land. It is a country. And before America was formed as a nation, this place was not America, because America didn't exist. America existed when it was formed. And so if someone can trace their lineage back to the Comanche on the Great Plains, well, that doesn't make you you weren't native to America. You're native to Comancheria. You're native to this. You're not native to the country of America. The people who are native to the nation of America, the people who formed this nation, were by and large, almost exclusively, white people of European descent. They are the natives of this country. They're the ones who formed this country. That doesn't mean that other people aren't allowed to live here. It just means that they're the natives. And again, anywhere else in the world, there's nothing controversial about pointing that out. And we're the only place where we're not allowed to say that. But I've been on this, I've been preaching this for a while now. I think we need to, and not just as a gimmick, like I really believe we should reclaim the title of Native American, and not to denigrate the people that we call natives, who I think that it's really interesting to read about their cultures and their history.
Oh, they're amazing people, but not native to here.
They're not native to America. And they also were, by the way, they're also not native in the strictest sense to this hemisphere. Like, they didn't sprout out of the ground. They came here at some point in the past.
From Asia.
From Asia. They fought brutally with each other over the land. All of the so-called natives that were here and had claimed land when Europeans first started showing up in the late 1400s, early 1500s, all of those people were on that land because they brutally killed who'd been on it before.
Right.
And they raped their women and took their children as slaves.
One wave of conquest supplanted the next.
Exactly. Right. And the law of conquest is what determined.
No, everything. It's of course it's factually true, and by the way, it's been suppressed for many decades by anthropologists and archaeologists, by the official policy of the U.S. government. But cracking the human genome made it impossible to deny.
Yep, and
there's nowhere in the world.
Elon, I don't know. The joke in IT is it's not a bug, it's a feature. That's definitely annoying when you roll over and automatically starts redoing the video, which I don't really know how many people would actually want that, but got about 590,000 views and 2.6 thousand likes. And yeah, I was going to say the lefties are definitely not going to like this. And yeah, it's interesting to think in terms of, do you come up with a new vernacular, which Matt Walsh also doesn't usually like new vernacular, new designations. But in terms of Native Americans, he's saying we shouldn't call them that. I mean, it's been decades upon decades upon decades. I don't see that shifting anytime soon in terms of coming up with a brand new magical word. That's why, again, some of Matt Walsh's statements and ideals, they make waves, but I do wonder which ones will actually withstand the test of time and really gain mass momentum. And every once in a while they do, of course. One of the most famous documentaries, or some people call it a mockumentary, would be Matt Walsh's, what is a woman, where he just goes around and asks people, or the left especially, they can define a woman, which they can't, and kind of dissolves their argument all completely. Now, one of the first comments comes to us thanks to Tim Butler saying, quote, I can officially confirm his logic checks out, getting 84 likes. Jay Plemons says they were the original Americans, getting 43 likes, which, well, yeah, they founded the country. There's a founding fathers. The conservative alternative says, quote, what a real Native American looks like. It's a Hulk Hogan, or a picture of Hulk Hogan holding an American flag, getting 50 likes. Alex Grace, poor son of a bitch, he loves freedom, but he's born in the totalitarian hellhole of Canada, which has become a weak, conquered, terrible, big government country. And he says, quote, same thing Canada, which I purposely mispronounced as a slight to that, pejorative slight to that weak and conquered country. He says, it was built by the French and English Europeans, not stolen from so-called natives. Got 0 likes, but I read it. Jared says, this is some white nationalism gymnastics that would even shock Bill the Butcher. Getting 11 likes and 3 responses. Was he ratioed, though? Alex Fons says America was 90% white until 1980. Shut the F up, getting 1 like. Jimmy says America is a white nation, getting 2 likes. So he's not ratioed, well, by likes, by number of comments. Now, you also have Williard said, quote, I'm sorry, but there is absolutely no logic in this entire argument because the guy is pretending that America only means U.S. after 1776. Let me stop you right there. And I would say, in the words of Ron Swanson, the world really started in 1776. Anything else is just, before that, doesn't matter. I'm only partially kidding, but again, when you talk about America and the United States, that's what everyone is talking about for the most part. In terms of when did America start? 1776. Now, his quote continues saying, quote, that's one of the reasons why this whole thing falls apart. What he considers to be America existed as a place long before it existed as a country. He's using wordplay instead of logic to support his reasoning, which, I mean, not really. There's no infrastructure, but obviously there's people and culture here, but I mean, they didn't even tame the horse or have wheels or firearms before Europeans came here, which I don't want to say wheels and firearms and whiskey make America, but they're huge variables and huge components of our culture and why we are awesome, uniquely awesome. He continues saying, quote, being native to a place does not mean being a citizen of a state. Indigenous people were native to the land long before any republic was declared, and the continent didn't suddenly appear out of the air when the Europeans decided to name it. Guy has a paragraph, but keep going. I have a few more issues with the entire approach because, for starters, putting something on a map or claiming something discovered, it doesn't erase the people who have already lived there. No, usually war does that, as man has done since the dawn of time. He continues to say, quote, and then, since when does conquest transform you into a real native? I mean, I think it would just be a duration in terms of who would be the most native or been there the longest. Would that be? I think that'd be kind of logical. He continues saying, quote, we're Spaniards, the natives of Mexico, and most of Latin America, even though they never claimed it and called themselves conquistadors for a reason. The word salad is not smart and just a cheap move that tries to redefine the meaning of the word native in a manner that allows to descendants of Europeans to colonize, feel legitimate as being a real Americans. Well, again, they formed real America. Indigeneity is not a label that cannot be granted via law or constitution. It's a historical reality, and since indigenous people were here first for thousands of years, they're natives, full stop. But he did get the most likes, or one of the most likes in the comment section, getting 376 likes. Or he says, I don't think you comprehend a thing he said, and went native with emotion logic. Well, getting 5 likes. Waliad says, sure, enlighten me with your deep wisdom and respond with factual rebuttal rather than your worthless statement on opinion, getting 6 likes. European Advocacy Group, yes, very specific names, says, quote, whites traversed unknown vast oceans, settled unknown continents, and conquered and colonized and sparsely populated peoples and built one of the most amazing civilizations out of nothing. It belongs to them, and they'll never condone all those other facts to be here in such large numbers. Getting 1 like. Nick says, you don't have to have an opinion on our nation's identity as an effing man from Lebanon. Full stop, getting 2 likes. Modern Day Warrior says, get over it. The Americans got Americans? Is that a typo? Got conquered by the whites, and it was the whites who formed and built America. They were native to it. The Americans didn't build crap before the Europeans came here, and as this was a vast wilderness, whites are done apologizing for conquering. Get 11 likes. I'm Elias says, which indigenous people, though? The ones who were on their particular piece of land when the Europeans came, or the ones that first settled the particular piece of land originally? It's all getting musical chairs, and everyone's picking their favorite point to stop, which, Go back to the main comment section. Mark Kangiani says, quote, I'm OCD and play with word definitions to make my point, get 39 likes. Justin the photographer says, quote, Matt Walsh makes his living rage baiting. There's zero chance that even he believes a quarter of the idiotic things he says. Getting 182 likes. Stu Lamore says the New World was first named the Americas in 1507 in honor of Amerigo Vespucci and his discoveries. Native Americans were a term for the indigenous people who lived in the Americas before the European came over. This is a wait. The What is a Woman guy is such a tool getting 131 likes, which again is his famous mockumentary. Writer says total pure BS. Native American tribes had a large network of organized governance and trade and basic laws. They just didn't name it what Matt does. People like him ruin what little credibility they have by talking too much about shit they don't know. Gave 52 likes. Let's see. Let's see. Bolts and Bucks, babe, has a guy holding a black ball and he has a MAGA hat. It says Magic 8 Ball. Am I stupid? And he shakes it. It's a bowling ball. Getting 3 likes. This might be, let's see here. Might be one of the few examples of Matt Walsh game ratio by more than 80%. Might be his most unpopular take of the year. But let me know your thoughts because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback. Let me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone, everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.